The Atlanta Falcons have just single-handedly ruined everyone's mock draft, including mine. I actually got the first 7 picks of my mock draft right, which I was pretty excited about overall, but Michael Penix to the Falcons after signing Kirk Cousins to a 4-year deal. I know only 2 of the years are guaranteed, so they could just cut out his money after that. I think it's maybe a good decision long term, but as of right now, I think picking Rome Odunze would have been sick there, or Dallas Turner. That's what I had. I actually had them trading back in the draft and then having the Vikings straight up take JJ McCarthy, then have the Falcons take Latu. Obviously, that's not how it worked. I'm still happy with my mock draft, but if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like and or subscribe. If I get 150 likes, I'll do whatever rebuild the top comment says, and of course, I'm going to be doing and pumping out all these draft prospect videos for these rebuilds, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But you got to feel bad for Kirk Cousins because he didn't even know it was going to happen. He just out of nowhere just said, oh, it's Michael Penix. So it sucks for him, but I really like Michael Penix. Hopefully he can develop and learn behind Kirk Cousins for at least 2 years. Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Rondale Moore, Kyle Pitts, and a solid offensive line here. I think this has a very bright future here for the Atlanta Falcons. Defensively, though, I really did think that they were going to go with an edge rusher here, and I'm actually going to move Arnold Obikate down. Grady Jarrett can definitely play on the inside, but for now, I'm just going to leave him on the edge. They got Jesse Bates, Richie Grant, Mike Hughes, and AJ Terrell. So overall, it seems like a young and very nice team to build upon other than Kirk Cousins not being young. But hey, they got Michael Penix now, and I'm going to put Penix on the bench just for year number 1 of this rebuild. I would, of course, like to develop him, and he would develop faster if he was a starter, but that's just for Madden. I want to keep it as realistic as possible, give Kirk Cousins a chance at quarterback, but usually in simulation, Kirk Cousins is pretty bad. But for now, let's move into the midseason mark. At the midseason mark, we are 2-5, bottom of the division with Kirk Cousins. Our offensive passing game is 4th, our defense is 19th, and our offensive points per game is 18th. We have a breakout wide receiver challenge here, probably for Rondale Moore if I had to assume. The game, of course, won't show me because EA can't fix minor glitches. Drake London to potentially get superstar dev. For the scouting national focus, I still think I'm going to go edge here, so I'm going to do outside linebacker. For the players who get to negotiate, don't need that middle linebacker. Don't really think I need anyone here actually right now. Kyle Pitts. He can just, I was about to say hit free agency. No, I'm not going to let him hit free agency. He has superstar X Factor. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, Kyle Pitts, do I accept the option or do I just give him a contract? I think it would be better long term if I just give him a contract, so I don't think I'm going to accept that option, especially since we have a little bit of money to do so. For the breakout player coming off a win to the Titans, I didn't get it done today, coach, but be honest, blah, blah, blah. Don't really care. Drake London, either you get it or you don't. Anyways, we are 3-5 at week 9. Let's move into the playoffs. 8-9, second in the division. The Panthers take the division barely at 9-8, coming off a win to the Saints, so there wasn't really much we could do there. Our defense, mid. Our offense, mid. I mean, our passing game is nice, but our rushing game sucks with Bijan, apparently. Stats and awards. Kirk Cousins, 8th in passing yards, 27th in passer rating, 17th best offense, 15th best defense. Kirk, 3,800 yards, 27 touchdowns, 11 receptions, 96 pass rating. In real life, this is actually a nice season, but in Madden, it's nothing crazy. Obviously, it's not video game numbers, but in real life, this isn't bad. He had 9th in offensive passing. Bijan, 4.6 per carry, 7 touchdowns, 1,100 yards is nice, and only 240 carries. Drake London, 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. Rondale Moore, 5 touchdowns, 800 yards. Darnell Mooney, 800 yards, 7 touchdowns. Nice ball distribution here. Of course, we need to get the ball more to Kyle Pitts. And also with Bijan Robinson, I need to remember not to sign Tyler Algier because he takes so many attempts from Bijan, even in Madden. Like, Madden makes it as realistic as possible to screw your players over. Defensively, Caden Ellis, 156 tackles. Tackles for a loss, 21 for Grady Jarrett. Sacks, 11.5 for Arnold Obikate with a huge breakout year. If I'm mispronouncing his last name, sorry. Grady Jarrett, 10.5 sacks, 4 for David Onyemata. Interceptions, 5 for AJ Terrell. That's a great season. Safeties, 0 defensive touchdowns. 1 for AJ Terrell and 1 for D. Alford. And the Eagles with Quinnen Mitchell win the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts wins the Super Bowl MVP. Lamar Jackson wins the league MVP. Caleb Williams, Rookie of the Year. And Jared Verse on the Rams is the Defensive Rookie of the Year. In the NFC South, a bunch of Saints players retire, including Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, and then Adam Thielen with the Panthers. For the team upgrades, Bijan already came with Superstar Dev. I don't see any upgrades here. Kirk has regressed 3 overalls. Penix has progressed 2 overalls. Defensively, Grady Jarrett gets Superstar Dev. Arnold Obikate, man, and Arnold Obikate, if I'm mispronouncing that, but either way, I believe he deserves superstar dev. I mean, he had 11.5 sacks. I'm not going to give it to him just because, but like, if he gets it again, double-digit sack seasons, and he doesn't get an upgrade, I'll give him superstar then. Caden Ellis, after having over 150 tackles, amazing year, has star dev. but this dude is 29 years old. He's not really going to progress much further than that. So anyways, let's move into our re-signings. For the re-signings, Kyle Pitts, I'm not going to accept the option. I'd rather just pay him. Do I really need this guy? It's kind of a cheap contract. He's 75 overall. He's 25. This honestly isn't bad. I wouldn't mind Landman back just for that because it's relatively cheap. I can have him as depth. Everyone else here I'm just not interested in. So let's move into free agency. Yeah, so I'm not going to lie. It's a pretty weak free agency class. I don't really like anything that I see here. So I think for now, I'm just going to skip out on free agency. In the first round, at pick number 16, I'm picking up defensive end David Holcomb. I was about to say Andrew for some reason because that was the previous prospect that I was looking at. But David Holcomb out of Notre Dame, 6'6", 280 pounds, normal dev, 89 strength. I want him as an edge rusher. He profiles as a power rusher. So he's going to be coming off the edge, and I'm going to move Grady Jarrett to the inside. Normal dev kind of sucks, but it is what it is. In the second round, another normal dev, which really sucks. Defensive back Joe Fells out of Rutgers, 6'2", 203, normal dev, but 93 speed, 93 acceleration is nice. B-man coverage. His awareness is low, but he's a man-to-man archetype. I think he had the size and the speed to be a starter on the team, so hopefully he has a good overall. Finally, getting a hidden dev here in the third round, Javon Horn out of Alabama, 5'11", 221, hidden dev, but 89 speed, 89 acceleration is great for a linebacker with A pursuit, A tackle, B play rec, and B catching. He's pass coverage archetype, a little short here at 5'11", but still I think he'll be great. Now this is the team after the draft. Looks like the AI picked up an offensive lineman and a tight end, so that's cool. I guess I'll put Wendell at the fullback here over Tyler Algier. Offense looks good, but Kirk Cousins, he overall had a nice season with us. Obviously, he doesn't look as good as his other ones in real life here. He actually was a baller on a nice streak here with Minnesota, but it is time to develop Michael Penix. Also, Kirk Cousins has the mentor tag. I know I have to pay him like $40 million a year, but I'm going to cut him after this because that's whenever his guaranteed money stops after this season. But he has the mentor tag, so he'll give more XP to Michael Penix as a backup here, and I think it's time to develop Penix just because I only have 3 years left to properly rebuild this team. So Penix has a nice offense around him with some nice talent. And I'm going to cut Kirk Cousins in the next season because of his contract. Horn is a 73 overall. Holcomb is already a 75 with the boost, so that's not a bad overall. I'm going to officially move him to right end. And then I think the defensive back that I chose was probably good as well, but Holcomb, he seems like a nice piece as well, and of course he doesn't play his proper position, so I have to adjust this again. Fells, he's a 71. We'll move him to the 2 and see how he does there. Also gonna put him in the slot just to give him more XP and more of a chance. And Horn, I'm honestly gonna start over Caden Ellis. Despite Caden Ellis having a really good season, I would like to develop Horn as quickly as I possibly can. And of course Holcomb is coming off as the rush right end. Everything else seems good. Gonna move Penix back to the starter here. Team looks good. Year number 2, Michael Penix Jr. First year as a starter after taking time to learn behind Kirk Cousins, who is still technically mentoring as him, mentoring for him. Let's move into the midseason mark. 4-2, second in the division with Penix stepping up, 9th best passing offense in the league, number 1 in points per game, averaging 32 points a game for the Falcons, as the Chiefs are a not close second. The Chiefs are the second in offensive points per game. They're scoring 27.1 per game. We're scoring 32 per game, which is crazy. Just had a voice crack there. Defensive points per game is 30th. We allow 27 a game, so that sucks for us, but still. Defensive rush-wise, we're 5th. Defensive passing, we're 22nd. I don't think my secondary is bad with Jesse Bates, Richie Grant, AJ Terrell. Sure, I'm not huge at depth at corner, but I don't really think it's that bad. But anyways, scouting national focus, I guess it has to be defensive back here. And for the players ready to negotiate, Kyle Pitts, I held off his contract before. He's going to get about $13 million a year here. He resigns on a 5-year contract. AJ Terrell, team doesn't have a franchise QB. That could change after this season, so I'm going to wait on that. Richie Grant, he wants a mentor at his position. I'll get him that. Oh, I forgot to say it on camera. I spammed through that. I got Duron Harmon as a strong safety. And for your strong safety to actually recognize the signing, you have to put them at second string for some reason. So Duron Harmon has the bridge player and the mentor tag for Richie Grant. And suddenly Richie Grant has interest, so this will make this a whole lot cheaper. Only about $4 million a year for 4 years. I'm going to keep him around for the entirety of the rebuild. Rondale Moore, he's 24 years old. He wants around $9 million a year. Even though he doesn't have a dev, I still really like him. I might not re-sign Darnell Mooney because he's getting up there in age, but Rondale Moore, he's only 24 years old, and I know Darnell Mooney isn't getting up there in age in real life. It's about Madden, but Rondale Moore here, 4 years, about $9 million a year. He re-signs on that. Drew Dahlman, he's 25. this isn't a bad contract. I think I'm going to do 4 years on this, even though he doesn't have a dev. It's not a bad contract for the team. He's going to re-sign Ray McLeod, Mike Hughes, and then Darnell Mooney's contract. I don't know how long it lasts, but in Madden, I remember he actually regresses pretty quickly. I don't know why, but he does. Drake London, he doesn't want to be here, so I'll probably accept that option. And then AJ Terrell, maybe he changes his mind by the end of the year. But for now, let's move into the playoff. 10-7, top of this weak division here for Michael Penix. But hey, a win's a win. We get home field advantage here against the 10-7 Philadelphia Eagles. Our defensive points per game, I mean, the average got lower, did it? I mean, was it 21 before? I think it was like 27 or something. But anyways, defensive points per game is 24th. Our defensive rushing game kind of became mid, but our offense still stayed really nice and actually improved throughout the year, coming off a 52-21 win against the New Orleans Saints. Stats and awards, Michael Penix is a top 5 QB in the NFL. He's great. Third best offense in the NFL. 30th best defense. All right. I don't know how that makes sense. Michael Penix, 4,000 yards, 38 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, and then 105 pass rating. After seeing the 14 interceptions, we're like top 10 QB in the NFL. 14 interceptions is quite a bit, but still, he was only a 73 overall, 38 touchdowns, 4,000 yards, and 105 pass rating for his first official year as a starter. That's a great year for him. Rushing-wise, Bijan with 1,400 yards, 5.1 per carry, 14 touchdowns is great. Drake London, 1,400 yards, 1 reception shy from a 100-yard season, 11 touchdowns. That's definitely worth superstar dev. Darnell Mooney, 10 touchdowns, 900 yards. Rondell Moore, 9 touchdowns, almost 800 yards. Kyle Pitts, only 2 touchdowns, 500 yards. I need to get him more involved, but I kind of like the playbook I'm in. Obviously, our offense is working. Javon Horn, the rookie, with 125 tackles, 11 tackles for a loss, and 2 interceptions. That's a great rookie year for an outside linebacker. Tackles for a loss, 25 for Arnold Abikate, but not very many sacks. And then sacks, 9.5 for David Holcomb, the rookie. He's great. Obviously, we're star dev there. I was about to say superstar, but more like star. AJ Terrell, another 5 interception season. Safety, 0 defensive touchdowns is 0. Can Michael Penix with home field advantage get his first ever playoff win here against the Eagles? He does not. 38-14. That was his touchdown to interception ratio. Let's move in to the offseason. And Xavier Worthy beats out the Niners Florida receiver. I forgot his name because whenever they picked him, I'm not going to lie, I was like, who? But apparently he's pretty good. But for the third time in, the past decade, the Niners have lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl as Chris Jones wins the Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes wins the league MVP, and there are no awards here for the Falcons. In the NFC South, Taysom Hill and Deron Harmon both retire. That's fine with me. For the team upgrades, I was hoping Michael Penix would get superstar dev, and he does. So he has a +1 boost. So he went from a 72, I believe, or 73 to a 76 without the boost. So he needs to progress a little bit more, and that superstar dev will help him. Drake London also getting superstar dev is huge for the team. Defensively, my entire D-line is a superstar dev now. Arnold Abikate, if I'm completely mispronouncing that throughout the entire video, I'm so sorry, but that's just how it is. Arnold out here has superstar dev for getting 25 tackles for a loss is great. And Horn, after that season, he only has star dev. That's really surprising. He had a really good rookie season, and Fells actually goes up to star dev, so that definitely wasn't a bad pick in round number 2. And Holcomb, I'm going to give him star dev. If you guys want to cry in the comments, that's fine. 9.5 sacks as a rookie, and I believe 13 tackles for a loss. That's a great rookie season for a defensive end. It's not double digits. It's not anything over the moon, but it's a really, really nice rookie season for a defensive end, leading the team in sacks. So by quite a large bit, I would say. I think the next best person was it. Arnold, I think it was, which was only about 4, maybe Grady Jarrett. But anyways, I think the defense is shaping up really nicely, and I think Michael Penix has a very nice future here in Atlanta. But for now, let's move into the re-signing. For the players ready to negotiate, we do have the franchise tag for the franchise QB tag for Michael Penix Jr. So that is amazing for this contract with AJ Terrell, as he's about to get paid $20 million a year, and he wants to test out free agency. It would have high interest with the team. I mean, this is still about the same contract, $21 million for the tag. I guess I'll wait on that. I really wanted to get him now. I didn't think he would want any more money. I even gave him a little bit more years. Drake London, I'll accept his option. D. Alford can walk. Mike Hughes can walk. Everyone else here, I'm just not interested in. Actually, Taylor Heineke, does he have the mentor tag? I think he does, but I already have Kirk Cousins, but I'm actually going to cut Kirk Cousins, so I think I am going to keep Taylor Heineke just for that mentor tag for the next season, so I'll just do another 1-year deal worth $3 million for Taylor Heinicke. And let's move in to free agency. After free agency, I got middle linebacker Nick Bolton to eventually replace Caden Ellis, so I think he's going to be sick for the team. And then I also got Michael Pierce as a depth defensive tackle. I think our D-line depth is actually really, really nice now, and I like the signings that I have for this free agency period. I only have about $12 million left, but that'll free up once I drop Kirk Cousins' contract at the start of the next season. In the first round, picking up defensive back Bobby Webb. Normal dev again for my first round pick, which sucks. 89 speed, 91 acceleration out of Oklahoma, 6'2", almost 200 pounds. He had A press, A catching. Yes, his zone coverage and man coverage aren't necessarily the best, but the press and the catching was great. He had only decent speed, but he had elite agility and elite jumping. So, I mean, his agility is only 6. I don't know how that's considered elite. Maybe I was wrong about that, but he definitely had elite jumping at 94. So hopefully he can develop and get some type of dev. And with my second pick, it's normal dev again, which sucks because he's 6'4", 233, 89 speed, 96 jumping is nuts. He had ace back catch, A catching, A catch in traffic, B release. He looked nuts. Bo Cameron out of UCLA. Normal dev again. I don't know how I'm missing on this, but actually I don't really miss on those picks because all those guys have star devs now, so hopefully this guy can too. But for now, just normal. Now this is the team after the draft. Bo Cameron is a 77 overall. I'm starting him over Darnell Mooney. I don't plan to re-sign Darnell Mooney. I know some people may want him. He's 27 in this simulation. Yeah, he had a nice season for us last year. I think Bo Cameron can have a better season. He's on his final year of his contract. I want Bo Cameron in the slot, and he's going to be a 6'4" slot guy, which will be nuts. How tall is Rondale Moore? Like 5'9", 5'7"? Damn, never mind. Rondale Moore is going in the slot. Now, Bo Cameron is at the number 2, specialist-wise. Okay, it looks like I can't put him in the slot. I don't know why I wouldn't be able to do that for Rondale Moore. So with that being said, I guess Bo Cameron is going to be my 6'4" slot guy, which is going to be absolutely nuts for him. The offense is looking nice. I just need, of course, Penix to develop. And then I'm going to put Onyemata over Pierce just because he has the superstar ability, which actually does affect simulation. And then where was my guy? Webb is a 68. He blows, dude. That was a bad pick. That was a bad pick by me, but hopefully I can get him to develop. He's not even going to be able to play in the slot. So I think that was just an L pick by me, and I'm usually good at drafting. I don't want to glaze myself, but I usually do think I'm pretty good at drafting, but for right now, I guess not. Kirk Cousins, he still has the mentor tag, but I'm pretty sure I have to pay him like a shit ton of money. It says $9 million on this because you can't adjust contracts in Madden. I know it was a lot higher than this for sure, but I'm going to cut him here. I'm going to just cut him and act like we're planning to do that the entire time. I can't do anything now that I'm already 2 years in the rebuild. I didn't know his contract was that low. But in real life, after the first 2 years of the Falcons having him, they can cut him in year number 3 or year number 4, probably in year number 3 because his guaranteed money would be up by then. But anyways, let's move in to the 3rd year with Michael Penix, who has superstar dev, and move into the midseason mark. 2-5, 3rd in the division. My team sucks. My defense just sucks for no reason. It's just like, oh, well, we just don't want to play. Why does my defense suck? I have a superstar defensive line. I have nice linebackers now. Everything is just terrible about it. My defensive rush game is 32nd. I have nice linebackers. I have a superstar defensive line. Sure, they're a bit on the older side, but last year it was pretty good. Now it's just the worst in the league somehow. Scouting national focus, I guess I just have to do defensive tackle. And for the players ready to negotiate, AJ Terrell, just accept this deal. Dude, it's $20 million a year, 5 years, and he signs that. It was basically the same contract I gave you. Arnold Abikate. I mean, I guess I could switch up our scheme because it's not working, but at the same time, do I really want to do that? I mean, base 4-3 Bills playbook is total hit or miss. I'm going to rock out with it for now. I'm actually going to wait on this. I'll change it at the end of the year if it's still not working out. Tyler Algier, I don't want him to take any more carries. Darnell Mooney, I already got a replacement. Grady Jarrett's 32. Caden Ellis 30. Out of Michael Pierce. My entire defensive line is leaving. Caleb McGarry, I'll do 1 more year with him. He's 30 years old, but he hasn't necessarily started regression for offensive lineman Madden yet, and everyone else here I'm just not interested in. Actually, Taylor Heinicke, I'm just going to do another 1-year deal with him. It's only $2.7 million this time. Just keep him as a mentor for the XP boost. And apart from that, Pinion, now that I think about it, I'll do a 3-year deal. He may be 31, but it's fine with me. And apart from that, now we're going to be moving into the playoffs if we even make them. 9-8, 2nd in the division, we missed the playoffs. My defensive rushing game was somehow still the worst in the league. Defensive passing game improved, my defense improved, my offense kind of got downgraded other than the rushing game, which became mid. Coming off a loss to the Packers, which keeps us out of the playoffs, which sucks for us. Stats and awards, Penix still did really nice here, 102 passer rating, so still probably a lot of interceptions. 7th best offense, 23rd best defense, and improved from last year. But Penix, 9 interceptions to 35 touchdowns, 102 pass rating, 4,200 yards. Great season from him. He continues to improve. Bijan, 1,300 yards, 5.0 for his average and 15 touchdowns. We're going into the 4th season. We're going to need to step up our defense. Drake London, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns. Bo Cameron, 10 touchdowns, 900 yards. That should be start Ev. Rondell Moore, 800 yards, 4 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts, 8 touchdowns, 700 yards. I like that he's getting involved more. Defensively, Nick Bolton, 127 tackles, sacks for a loss, 18 for Arnold Ebiketie, and 9.5 sacks for Arnold Ebiketie, so he's going to get a contract. David Holcomb with 5 sacks, so a bit of a down year from previous year, but still not bad. 2 interceptions for Javon Horn, and then safeties on the team, 0 defensive touchdowns is 0. And the Ravens beat the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy wins the Super Bowl MVP. Bo Cameron wins Rookie of the Year for the Falcons, so that's nice. In the NFC South, Jason Myers retires on the Saints. 3 Panthers players retire with Eric Kendricks and Joel Bitonio, and Levante David retires with a ring. Well, not with a ring, with their Super Bowl loss with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For the team upgrades, Michael Penix goes up to Superstar X Factor, but he's still an 81 overall. EA was like, the best we can do is 3 XP. They're just like, we just don't want to give you anything more than that. Dude's not even an 85 overall, and he's an X Factor. And my backup tight end is an X Factor. Wow. Now I have a backup fullback, my favorite. But Rondell Moore doesn't get a dev up, but Bo Cameron gets a dev up, so he's going to replace Darnell Mooney because they're already the same overall. Darnell Mooney is technically 28 now, so he's starting regression, and of course I don't have to pay Bo Cameron. The O-line, actually, did someone get Superstar Dev? Yeah, Chris Lindstrom got Superstar Dev, so that's nice. Defensively, what do we got? Arnold Ebiketie gets Superstar X Factor after he didn't even get over 20 tackles for a loss or double-digit sacks, but he still had a nice season, but X Factor, I don't know about that. And then Fells, Webb didn't do anything. I guess I'm going to have to draft another defensive back or something like that. But anyways, let's move into the re-signings. For the players ready to negotiate, I'll accept the option for Bijan. Arnold Ebiketie, I'm just going to give him a bunch of money. He resigns for the next 4 seasons. Tyler Algier, Darnell Mooney, I don't want. Grady Jarrett's an 82. He has Superstar Dev. I know it's 16 million, but I'm going to keep him for the final year of this contract. Caden Ellis doesn't want to be here, and I don't really want him. David Onyemata and Michael Pierce can both walk. I'll find some different defensive tackles. And Taylor Heineke, did he not accept the last time? I'm going to give him the same offer. He resigns on that. He's coming back to be another mentor just to give more XP to Michael Penix. And apart from that, let's move into free agency. After free agency, it wasn't loaded, but I got Joe Thuney to boost our overall. I mean, he's not going to be that crazy on our offensive line, but I'm cool with him. Then Roger McCrary as a defensive back, so that way I don't draft another miss. In the first round, finally getting hidden dev here. Connor Brackett, strong safety out of Washington. I don't think Richie Grant is doing all that well. I mean, he's only 77. I really shouldn't have signed him. I should have replaced him. But either way, hidden dev, 90 speed, 91 acceleration. I know some people be like, oh, Richie Grant's good in real life. But in Madden, he didn't progress as fast as I wanted him to. Obviously, Connor Brackett won't have time to progress because we are in the 4th and final year. But we'll just have to make it work. B awareness, B play rec, and A hit power are all great. In the 3rd round, getting another 5'11" athletic linebacker, 88 acceleration, 82 speed, not as athletic as my left outside linebacker, but he's 5'11", 227 out of Ohio State. Was the other one out of Ohio State? I think it was actually Notre Dame. Hidden dev, A awareness, A zone coverage, B pursuit. He looks great for a 3rd round pick. Now this is the team moving into the 4th and final year. It's kind of lame how Penix is only up to an 82 with X Factor. I think once you get a dev up, you should get a huge XP boost. That should be something in Madden. I've been complaining about it since like Madden 19. Still, it's crazy because like you'll see some players like Jamar Chase went from rookie year, I believe he was like a 77 overall in his rookie season. The very next season, he was like a 92 overall with a Superstar X Factor. Why can't that happen in Madden? Like, it happens in real life, but in Madden, they're like, the best we can do is like 2 XP, but you can win a league MVP, and they'll be like, you're actually 35, so -2 overall. It makes no sense, but O-line is looking really nice. Thomas is a 70 overall, so maybe he progresses. Brackett, I'm honestly going to start over Grant. Even though Grant is a higher overall, I want to see Brackett has that rookie magic, which is actually a thing in Madden Simulation. Rookies just perform amazingly. And then Shepard is a 72. I thought I signed another defensive tackle, which sucks. But DeBose here apparently has, Dubose, my bad, apparently has Superstar Dev at a 67 overall, but I'm not going to start him. Specialist-wise, Brackett, he is not a slot. And then Dyson Harrison, Why is Holcomb not coming off the edge? Okay, it looks like I have to manually change that, but Cameron, 6'4", slot receiver. Let's move into the fourth and final year in the playoffs. Finishing 11-6, top of the division, coming off a loss to the Packers. Evidently, it doesn't matter as we still get home field advantage. Here to face the #1 overall pick in Caleb Williams, as he seems to be struggling, as the Bears have the 31st passing offense in the league, but the #1 rushing offense with DeAndre Swift, and the defense seems to be balling. I thought it would be the complete opposite, not offense, but only scoring an average of 22.6 points a game. Falcons averaging almost 27 a game. Defense is 20th, but our defensive passing game 6 out of 29th. We did lose defensive tackles, but it actually improved from us losing defensive tackles, so I don't really know how that works. Stats and awards. Michael Penix looks like a top 5 QB with 2nd most passing touchdowns in the league, 7th best offense, 13th best defense. What did Michael Penix rank? Fields. Justin Fields is your league MVP. All right. Bears messed up big time. Penix is 6th for league MVP here. It's because of the 13 receptions, but 41 touchdowns, 4,100 yards, and 105 pass rating is a great season from him. This guy, Ethan Nowak here, he has 24 yards, 2 for 2. I don't know why we put him in, but he's 100% completion percentage. I guess we should have started him, you know. Obviously not. Bijan, not even 300 attempts throughout the entire rebuild. I mean, not in total, I mean per season, but Bijan with 1,300 yards, 4.8 per carry, 11 touchdowns. It's a nice season, but I know he could have done better if we used him more. Drake London, 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Kyle Pitts, 9 touchdowns, 900 yards, 80 receptions. This is the involvement that I want him in. Rondell Moore, 8 touchdowns, 800 yards, and 9 touchdowns for Bo Cameron. Very nice ball distribution here. Nick Bolton, 145 tackles, 10 tackles for a loss and an interception, 7 pass deflections. He had a great year for us. Tackles for a loss, 14 for Arnold Abikate, and then 10 sacks for him as well. David Holcomb with 7.5 sacks, 4 for Grady Jarrett. So that's actually a nice season for our defensive line. Javon Horn has been great for us ever since we drafted him. Safeties on the team is 0, defensive touchdowns is 0. Now, can we beat Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze here to move on to the divisional round? We do. 24-21 here to face the 10-7 Philadelphia Eagles, who knocked us out of the playoffs last time. They have a 92 overall offense, but an 88 overall team. Let's move into it. Here we are against the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going to start out with nothing. We're going to respond with 7. Nice start for us. 7-3 here, 14-3. Offense is showing why they're one of the top offenses in the league here. 14-10 at halftime. We start with the ball. Apparently turned it over whenever we got in the red zone, which is a bummer. Eagles are going to take the lead. We might be choking the game here. Red zone alert. End game drive. 21-17. Game is on the line. It's 4th down. They're going to get a huge pass, drive down the field, get a touchdown. 24-21. I'm going to have to hop in and do it myself. 3rd down and 6. Not going to have the safety isolated, but I do have Y isolated. That's Bo Cameron up the field. 1st and 10, 1 minute and 5 seconds left. 1st and 5. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to take Bijan underneath, go up the field out of bounds. 2nd and 5. 2nd down and 5. Let's see what we got here. I could have had Kyle Pitts. I waited too long, but I still got Rondell Moore underneath. 2nd and 5. I'll take my first time out with 55 seconds left. 1st and 10. Let's see what we got here. Oh my gosh. Run, Michael Penix. Run faster, dude. Who's that going to be? Looks like Jalen Carter of some sort, but either way, I got to figure out something here. 2nd and 19. Got to get at least in field goal range. I could have that. Why are you overthrowing him, dude? You're an X factor. Come on. 3rd and 19. Let's see what we have. Please hit this. Please hit that on the run. Thank you, Michael Penix, for not missing that throw. 1st and 10 with Kyle Pitts. We are in field goal range, but I want that touchdown. 2nd and 10. I'm going to do what worked last time, which is wait for Kyle Pitts to get open, and that's exactly what's going to work here, as we're going to take a 4-point lead against the Philadelphia Eagles. They got 14 seconds left with 3 timeouts. I'm not going to play this, and they got 2 seconds left. It's not going to work out. 28-24 as your Atlanta Falcons are moving on to the conference championship. In the conference championship, we're going to be facing off against J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings here. So let's see what we got here for the Vikings. Superstar dev for J.J. McCarthy. He doesn't come with superstar dev. All the rookies actually start out with normal dev because you can't change their devs in the Madden simulation. For the roster, you would have to change each individual one once you start the franchise, which I'm not going to do. But let's see if we can beat J.J. McCarthy at home to move on to the Super Bowl. Here we are against the Vikings. They're going to open up with nothing. We're going to respond with nothing. Nobody scores in the first quarter. We finally strike the first point. 7-0 start, 14-0 start, 2-score game here. They're going to make it a 1-score game right before half. Then we're going to put another touchdown on the board, but no extra point apparently. And another no extra point as we miss another 2. 33-7. Defense is doing amazing. 33-14. We're going to be moving on to the Super Bowl with Michael Penix. And your Atlanta Falcons are here to potentially win the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, of course, dude. It's so impossible not to face them in the Super Bowl. or the Cowboys along the way. I mean, we didn't. But still, Michael Penix is up to a 90 overall with the boost. I have an X-Factor fullback. No upgrades for the offense. Defensively, anyone, Nick Bolton gets superstar dev. Thomas only has star dev. Brackett only has star dev, but with the boost. And now this XP point, he's as high of an overall as my other safety, Richie Grant. Put him in hybrid for the scheme fit. He doesn't get it, but it's fine. He's a 78 overall with the boost. Same overall as Richie Grant, as I said before. Team looks great. It's an 89 overall team. Let's go beat the Kansas City Chiefs to give the Falcons their first ever Super Bowl win with Michael Penix. Here we are against the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to open up with 7. Already amazing field positioning. Pretty sure they had they were on the 50 when they started, but it's 10-7. Defense has allowed points on every single offensive drive for the Chiefs except for that last one. 10-16, opening up the half. Finally getting our first lead of the game by 1 point. 24-17, 24-24, 31-24. The offense needs to capitalize on every drive because my defense is just so bad. My defense finally prevails for me. I can get in field goal range, run the clock, and end this game. 1st and 10. Let's see what we got here. Going to dump off the ball to Bijan, who's going to get some nice blocks up the field by my lineman. Bijan, 1st and 10. 1st and 10. Safety pushes off Drake London. Let's see if I can push this to the inside. Horrible pass from Michael Penix. And that honestly would have gotten there. If that was a nice pass, I think he would have had leverage there. 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10, pressing on London, but the safety's there to help. Bijan is so open. My God. Love to see that. 2nd and 10. Gonna run hurry up, and then once I get in field goal range with Koo, I'm gonna be able to run this ball down their throat and finish this. 1st and 10, running QB draw. It is risky with Penix here, but it's gonna work out to perfection. Slide for the first, and we are in field goal range with Koo now. 1st and 10. Gonna give this to Bijan right up the gut. 2nd and 6. They're going to take their first timeout. 3rd down and 5. Going to run it once again. Burn their final timeout. And I'm going to pick up the first with Bijan. So that will be the game since the Chiefs won't get the ball back here. And I think I will be able to end it out with Koo. But I'm going to make sure I get this clock down to 2 seconds before I actually kick that field goal. And Bijan gets the carry once again. Great blocks up the field. Trying to get a juke to the inside. Don't push me out of bounds. 1st and goal. Giving it right back to Bijan with 8 seconds left. He's going to spin off a man. Fight forward. 2 seconds left. I'm going to take that timeout. I know that was risky to do that instead of just running it down. But Koo, he can't be iced here. It's going to be an easy chip shot. He has the arc because he has the superstar ability for his kicking. And it goes up. It goes through. 34-31 as your Atlanta Falcons win their first ever Super Bowl here against the Kansas City Chiefs. First ever Super Bowl period with Michael Penix Jr. as this is a successful rebuild with the Atlanta Falcons. Your Super Bowl MVP is Michael Penix Jr. Successful rebuild for the team. No other awards here for the Falcons as we do win the Super Bowl, and of course Penix wins the Super Bowl MVP. So I thank you guys all for watching. Let me know which team you want me to rebuild next. I kind of want to do Malik Neighbors to the Giants because I've already done Caleb Williams. I've already done Drake May and Jaden Daniels and Marvin Harrison to their designated team. I haven't done JJ McCarthy yet, but of course I just did Penix. So anyways guys, apart from that, I thank you guys all for watching. If you do want to see any of those previous rebuilds that I did for Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, I did a 10-year Cardinals rebuild with Marvin Harrison Jr. So if you want to watch that, go make sure you look through my feed. And apart from that guys, I thank you guys all for watching once again, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.